Hey guys, The Next Sniper here, bringing a new video to the channel, and this one's going to be about the Battlefield 6 Open Beta Week 1. So, the beta is getting broken into 2 different weekends, and I did get to play a couple of the days during the open access this last weekend, and I'm going to kind of throw out my just quick opinions and concerns. Nothing really crazy. I want to keep this short and sweet. I definitely understand it's a beta, and there's really not too much to talk about right now, but yeah. Definitely want to give it a quick talk about. I love Battlefield. I've been playing Battlefield since Bad Company 2, so not like super old veteran, but definitely considered a veteran of the Battlefield series these days. And I did do a video for 2042 when that came out forever ago, when it was just the trailer. That game ended up being a horrible train wreck. But yeah, so let's get right into the video. I definitely want to start things off saying this is one of the best betas I've played for a game in a long time. Like, limited time betas, not like early access playing games. So you know how Ark and DayZ and games like those were released early access, but you can play them unlimited. For an actual like classic beta style, like we used to get all the time with Call of Duty and Battlefield, and it seemed like games were doing it left and right back in the day. This is one of the best ones I've ever played. You expect some bugs and issues here and there, but this game, really, it felt pretty flawless. I mean, this beta ran better than the initial releases for games like Battlefield 3 and 4. Those both had very rocky, buggy releases, and of course so did the following Battlefields up to this date, but this beta ran really well. And there's definitely some bugs. There were a few times where I had to crash my game, got stuck in the loading screen, or audio glitches, but they weren't that often, and some of them were very easy to fix. The other thing that felt great was the bring back of their classic movement. I felt like the movement in this game felt like true Battlefield. It's not like the newer stuff where everyone was sliding around, doing this omni movement bullshit that we get in the current Call of Duties and so many other games. This game felt like your character moved semi-realistically while still being balanced for a video game. So it wasn't super slow movement like you get from stuff like Insurgency Sandstorm or DayZ. You know, both of those try and go very realistic, or, you know, in their own ways have some clunky slow movement, but it wasn't like you were sliding around like the floor is made of ice and your character just defies the laws of physics like Battlefield 5, 2042, Battlefield 1 even had some issues, and the current Call of Duties. So movement felt amazing. It felt flawless. I felt like I could parkour and climb on things a lot closer to Battlefield 3, which is great because Battlefield 4 was pretty close to Battlefield 3, but it felt a little pulled back, and then it just got worse and worse afterwards, in my opinion. Your character just couldn't climb anything other than very basic rectangular shaped structures. Now, having this nice movement back meant that the feel of the gunplay also felt very old school and allowed very interesting locations to be made for some of these gunplay moments. It was easier to get into higher locations for a sniper again, to where I can still be close to the objective, overwatching the objective, without having to be in some hill at the back of the map to do some kind of sniping, or forced to go up close with an ACOG. I could do medium range sniping that is closer to actual sniping without being the guy in the back of the objective doing absolutely nothing for the team. I think medium range snipers is the way to go for the recon class if you want to be to your full potential, and you know, having this better movement helped with that. And that kind of leads more into the other classes. It's easier to pull off really cool flanks, get into positions around objectives to keep sight lines on it, and I think this will play into games like Rush. And then it's also great for stuff like setting up an LMG with a bipod, or, you know, like I said, climbing around to get to other angles for objectives for the assault class, and engineers being able to hit vehicles from unsuspecting locations. So yeah, I think the gunplay was also really well. For the most part, the guns felt pretty balanced. I think there's a few guns could use some buffs. Nothing really I felt like absolutely needed a nerf, other than my short experience dealing with the SVK DMR, which in Battlefield 2042, most people don't realize it had a very bad moment of being like super overpowered, because it was just a 2-shot DMR and you could spam it. Most people in the beta didn't seem to actually get to a high enough level to even unlock it, and the few people who I did go against that were using it, it was pretty much a 2-shot gun again. It was popping up for me, and this could easily be wrong with it being a beta, but every time I died by it, it pretty much did 55 damage both times when I got hit, and it tells you if it's a headshot or not, and they weren't. Not sure how accurate those stats are, but if that is accurate, I would definitely pull back on that gun again, because my short time using it, was pretty much like, yeah, this gun's gonna wreck. Other than that, most of the guns seemed pretty good. A few could actually need buffs. I think that the carbines were a little weak, especially the AK, I think it was AK-205 if I remember correctly. Complete laser, but the thing did like no damage. I felt like I was just pin cushioning people, and they would actually, like, it was the only gun where someone could turn around, whip on me, and just completely destroy me. And I tried to use it as much as I could and get some attachments for it. Didn't really help with the gun at all. The shotgun, I hear, is getting nerfed. I don't know how true that is. I haven't really looked into it too much. That gun is great. For a shotgun, I think Battlefield felt pretty balanced out, but it did feel really inconsistent. So I could see them, you know, maybe just working with it, tweaking here and there. It's hard to give judgment on balancing weapons and gadgets right now for the simple fact that it's a beta. There's so much of the game we haven't seen. There's tons of other guns, tons of other map situations we're going to be in, because they gave us the 3 smallest maps for this beta. The next beta, we're supposed to be getting a 4th map, and that's going to be a little bit of the larger scale one, but it's still going to be kind of dense urban. So there's supposed to be a lot more maps. We know Operation Firestorm's coming, so we know we're going to get a large open scale map at some point. As for the maps that were in this beta, I can't complain too much. I really enjoyed the Liberation Peak. That was a nice, balanced, kind of classic Battlefield feeling map. I had to get used to it a little bit. It kind of definitely was a map that I didn't care for the Charlie objective or C. I think that map, that little area is just a cluster, horrible area, but some people like that gameplay. I just tend to play more on the Delta outskirt sides because it played more to my style of gameplay. Everyone has a difference, so if anything, that probably makes the map better because it gives everybody a chance to fight for a certain area. Siege of Cairo, I really liked that for an urban map. It felt great. I enjoyed playing support and engineer on that map. I didn't really play much Assault. I played enough of it to get used to it and feel the class out, but it's pretty useless class at the moment for team play, so I didn't play it much. But yeah, really good infantry map, but the tanks definitely still had a presence, and if they had smart drivers, they could still be super effective, so it felt like a nice, balanced, good urban map that we haven't seen in a long time. As for Iberian Offensive, that map I have definitely some complaints on. It was another urban map, definitely infantry focused, but it seemed like every time I played it, either my team was spawn camping the other team, or my team was getting spawn camped, and it was always the same direction. And I'm going to kind of throw up a screenshot I got from the little bit of gameplay footage I was able to collect. But this map always pretty much looked like this, with the NATO team being completely getting stuck with taking over maybe their front objective and then Delta and Bravo. But that's about it. I mean, I don't think I saw NATO win once the entire time during the beta when we played that map. It kind of got bad enough there was a few times we just quit because we were so spawn camped and there was nothing we could do to get out. So yeah, they might consider maybe tweaking that map around some, or maybe I just got in a really unlucky streak. It's hard to tell. It was only a couple of days to play. Who knows? It's a beta. You know, there's lots of things to work out, and that's kind of something bigger that will get more fleshed out as the game evolves when it gets fully released, or even in the next beta we'll figure it out. As for the classes and gadgets, I just kind of briefly brought up, I think all the classes were pretty balanced. Like I said, Assault right now, in the beta, what we got with gadgets and everything, Assault felt completely useless to the team. I mean, yeah, you had a grenade launcher, but anything Assault could do, all the other classes could do, and kind of just do them better. So it just felt like a class right now that's made for like the people just all they do is run and gun and they don't do anything to help the team. And that's just my opinion on it. You know, everyone's going to have their own kind of opinions. But even Recon, if you actually used its abilities the way you're supposed to and played that class to its strengths, you could be a huge help to the team. I mean, I got tons of spot assist and, you know, complete like surveillance assistance for the team, constantly placing tugs in good locations, good spawn beacons for people to get towards the actual objective, any of that kind of situational stuff. On top of support, it felt amazing. At first I was really skeptical about support being combined of the classic medic and what we know of support. But yeah, it was fun when I did get to play it. I didn't get played as much as I wanted to because it seemed like we always needed some kind of engineer on the team to take care of vehicles. So I mostly ended up playing engineer, and then I do enjoy sniping, so I played recon the second most. But support definitely came in at a close third. And it was a lot of fun to play. It felt really balanced. I liked the shields getting brought back from Battlefield 2042. That was a very small mechanic that I thought was really nice to have. And the combination of the med bag and ammo bag just being put into one supply bag actually felt really good. I actually really liked that addition. But overall, the classes felt really balanced. Engineer really wasn't too different than what we're used to in most of the Battlefields. It felt great. I loved it. It's usually my second most played class when I play Battlefield games. I actually really liked the new motion sensor mine that shot the projectile into the air on top of vehicles, and I liked how RPGs felt like they actually damaged tanks without being super overpowered. I think 25 damage to a vehicle is really good, and then doing more than that if you hit them in the rear in a vulnerable spot. I just think that's definitely the way to do it. It keeps the balance between infantry and vehicle really smart and really well done. So yeah, I think the classes were super well set up for the most part. I would personally wish guns be locked into place, but that being a secondary game mode, not the default, is kind of weird. But that's just the old man Battlefield in me kind of coming out. But yeah, it felt really good and balanced for the most part, and it didn't feel near as clunky and ridiculous as 2042 did with their operators and junk like that. So yeah, the classes felt really balanced out. Most of the weapons felt really balanced out. Vehicles I didn't get to play with too much. For the most part, they seemed to be pretty fine. I think the tanks and helicopters and jets, from what little bit I got experience with them, they seemed pretty good. There was only a couple times where there seemed to be that one tank we just couldn't take care of, but it's usually the losers who would just camp in the back of their spawn and never leave spawn with their tanks. So nothing really different than the vehicle campers. That's been a problem with Battlefield forever. I don't even know how to deal with them other than making some kind of punishment for them. I have no idea how they would handle that. Anyone has a good idea, let me know. Other than that, yeah, everything felt really balanced out. The AA gun tank, or the anti-air tank, could use maybe a little bit of a buff on its main machine gun, just for the simple fact that it felt like I was tickling any jets I was shooting at. But for the most part, they all felt fine. Other than that, yeah, I loved the drag mechanic revive. That was amazing. It was so much fun to experience. It really couldn't have been implemented any better way, in my opinion. It felt really clean, really crisp. I like how it's sped up for the medics, or for the supports, I mean, but you still could use it on your squad mates for everybody. And it was just, yeah, I think this mechanic is honestly the biggest addition to the game that feels so much fun. Everyone's talking about the destructibility and the return to classic stuff, but this drag mechanic is amazing. The only thing I could critique on it is sometimes movement was a little clunky and I couldn't like turn with my buddy. I couldn't drag him around the corner that cleanly. But that's like really small stuff, and yeah, I love that mechanic so much. I definitely had to give it its own little highlight. Overall, though, I think this Battlefield is going to have a really, really good release, but I don't put it behind EA to somehow mess up DICE's work. We know they have a history of doing it. And DICE isn't exactly innocent all the time either. They've messed up their own work before in the past. So I think that as long as they kind of stay doing what they're already doing, do not listen to the streamers, and do not listen to the pro players. I'm saying that with quotation fingers right now. I know you can't see it, but yeah. Ignore those people, listen to the actual fan base for the most part, and everything should be fine. I think that the game is in a really good state right now with what we have played on it. I definitely look forward to playing to the second weekend of the beta, and yeah, I think this might be like the best Battlefield we're gonna get since Battlefield 3 and 4, from what we've seen. I'm still very skeptical. I'm definitely not pre-ordering at least until after the beta, and even then, if I pre-order, it's going to be like a week before the game comes out, because I definitely plan on buying it, let's be honest. So if I pre-order, it's going to be like a week before it comes out, just for the simple fact so I can get the extra stuff, because if I'm going to play it day one, I might as well get the extra stuff for no extra cost. So yeah, if I pre-order the game, it's going to be pretty close to release. I'm definitely going to try and hold my breath as long as I can, because I don't trust EA. But overall, this game felt amazing. The beta felt great. It was really clean and crisp for the most part. I know there's a lot of complaints about the user interface needing changed. I could agree with most of that. I'm not too nitpicky. Like, I'm used to games where the scoreboards and stuff at the top of the screen. Sure, would I like it to be above the map in the bottom left corner, like Battlefield 4? Yeah, but I could really care less. Maybe I just have too much tunnel vision. I don't know. It didn't really bother me. The menu screen and stuff like that definitely could use some upgrades. Not going to disagree with that at all. And definitely the squad system, hooking up with your buddies. I missed the 5-man squad too, but 4-man's fine. We'll make it work like we did in Battlefield 3 when it was a 4-man. So yeah, overall, great beta. really looking forward to the game. Looking forward to playing this game more during the beta. I definitely am going to play it Thursday when it starts again, and I will definitely be trying to play it Friday probably as well. Hopefully get to play it Saturday and Sunday as well, but I work all of those days I just listed, and I have a life outside of games and making these videos for sure. So yeah, figured I'd just throw out my very casual gaming opinion though, as someone who's been playing Battlefield forever, loves the Battlefield series, and tends to have a somewhat different opinion on some of the stuff than what you're used to hearing from people online. So yeah, other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I definitely will plan on trying to get more footage of the second week of beta and just kind of putting together some highlights. Maybe make another video like this after getting to play more of it. Who knows? I'm just kind of winging this stuff. But yeah, please do like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you think. If you have any questions on any other aspects that maybe I didn't touch in the video, ask them, and I'll kind of drop my 2 cents down there as well. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next one.